Welcome to another vlog. It's Wednesday, it's about 10 o'clock and at night, p.m. And for the month of September, it is August the 31st. It is about to turn September the 1st at midnight. For the month of September, I'm playing a game with my book club, a TBR game, and where we're given some prompts and we have to read those prompts. And if you saw my Bookopoly, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna fit these, roles of the books into what I am reading for the book club. But I just got my first prompt and it wasn't really much of a prompt. It was basically, here's what you're gonna read. So I am reading Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. That is one that I have not read before. And so I am kind of hit or miss on Christina Lauren. So I heard that this one is really good. I have no idea what it's about, by the way. I did not think I would be reading this month, but joke's on me. Here I am reading it. Okay, so I'm going to go and get started reading, and I'll update throughout this disaster of a month because I feel like getting this is just not what I anticipated for this month, but it's fine. It's fine. We're fine. So there you go. That's what we're going to do, and I will catch you guys later when I update and when I'm a little bit farther into Love in Other Words. Okay, so I think the last time I checked in with you was on August the 31st at 10 when I realized what I was going to be reading. So that was going to be Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. Today is September the 2nd, it's Friday, and I finished Love in Other Words, and I've also finished another book, so let's talk. Love in Other Words by Christina. By the way, I have read a lot of Christina Lauren's backlist. I have not read Love in Other Words, and the reason that is because I felt like it wasn't a story that I really would jive with because it's second chance romance, and I tend to not love those as much. So I decided that that's the one I would read. Well, actually, it was picked for me from book club, and so I was a little apprehensive going into it, and I gotta say that this is one of the most divisive books I've ever read. There were moments when I was like, this is a 1-star read, and there were moments where I was like, this is a 5-star read. So I can't tell you about the 1-star really that much without giving any spoilers, but I will tell you that this follows our two main characters, and I really, really like, I think it's Maisie and Elliot, and I really enjoyed their chemistry. I thought that was very well done. That was one of the 5 stars that I really truly believed that they were in love. It follows these two main characters. You meet Maisie, and I listened to the audiobook, so that's why I'm like, I didn't actually physically see their names on page, so that's probably why I'm getting my names confused. But this follows our main female protagonist at first, and she is basically, we're finding out about her life, and she is a doctor resident and busy working. She's engaged, and one day she runs into her first love, which she hasn't spoken to in 11 years, and you're not quite sure what happened between the two of them, but it kind of then tells the story as we're flashing back to when they met, how they became best friends, how they eventually ended up together, and why they eventually came apart, and then our present day timeline. And of course, my main problem with this book, and I can't tell you without spoilers, but some of the choices that the main character made, she was very immature, I felt, in the present day. In the past day, like these were two young kids who just, their actions did not, I don't know, it was just wild. I want to say, like, I can't say much without spoilers, so I won't, but I will tell you to read it. I do honestly think this was a great love story. I do think that these characters had amazing chemistry, and I really like that about it, but I think I'm going to have to, I originally rated this book 4 stars because I couldn't put it down. It was very, like, I wanted to keep turning the pages, but I think I'm going to have to bump it down to a 3-star because, about everything I mentioned previously. So then I got a new prompt, and the prompt was a Nordic noir book, and I only had 3 to choose from. So I picked, first of all, I don't know Nordic noir books, but I have read The Chestnut Man. That's the only one I've read. But I read Where Roses Never Die by Gunnar Staalesen. I'm so sorry if I'm butchering that name. But this is the 18th novel in a detective. And all the ones I had to choose from were in a series. But this is the 18th novel in this detective series. And we are following this lady who hires this private investigator to kind of figure out where her missing daughter went. Her daughter went missing in 1977, and at this point in time, it's like 25 years later after she went missing, and the daughter has never been found, and the case is about to go to where basically statute of limitations, like nobody can be charged for the case. So as a last-ditch effort, she hires this investigator to kind of see if he could find out what actually happened to her daughter. And it's that story, and I gave this 3 stars. Again, Nordic noir is not, or any kind of, not even Nordic, but any kind of detective investigator stories are just not really my jam. So that's why I detracted from this, because a lot of this was kind of boring interview style type things, trying to figure out what's going on. I did enjoy the reveal. I can tell you that I did not guess it. So that's a plus, but the overall story just kind of dragged and it was boring and I didn't care for it. And my dog is being very loud licking, so I'm really, really sorry. So I'm not sure what I'm going to read next. I get my prompt here in about 20 minutes. So I may just check in tomorrow and let you guys know what I picked or what I was given to read. I obviously am not doing well on my Bookopoly board because none of these books were on my Bookopoly board. One of these books, the Nordic Noir, I had never heard of in my entire life. So that's how this month is going. Okay. I will check in later when I have a better update. It has been a minute since I've checked in. It is currently Sunday, the 4th of September, and I've read 2 more things since I last spoke to you. The first book that I read was Saving Noah by Lucinda Berry. I've never read Lucinda Berry before. I've heard good things about Saving Noah, and this is definitely one of the things that I really like about the reading challenges that go along with my book club is I'm always reading things I normally would not have picked up elsewise. And so I have found just some really great gems here lately. So I read Saving Noah by Lucinda Berry. This follows it's really from the mother's perspective. It is a family whose life has been turned upside down after their son Noah admits to sexually molesting these little girls that he is teaching to swim. And so it is the kind of exploration of how that changes their lives and how as a mother you feel when your child, because he had no other issues before then, and how you kind of cope with your child doing this and how it tears apart a family. And just kind of, we do get snippets also from some snippets from Noah's point of view. And I thought this book was really eye-opening, and I think Lucinda Berry is a psychiatrist, I'm not really sure, but I thought it was super, super eye-opening of everything that went on in this book. Super heartbreaking. There were tears coming from my eyes. I cried. I'm gonna give this book 5 stars. I thought that it was very well done, very well executed. The story was fantastic. Then I had to read a book with a non-binary main character. So I read Symptoms of Being Human by Jeff Garvin, I think. Yes, and so I really enjoyed this story as well. This is following our main character as he kind of grapples with coming out, and his dad is going to run for Congress, I believe, and he's kind of in the limelight that way, and just his journey of being beaten down because he is genderqueer, and just a heartbreaking story. But then when I was reading after it, I do think that this was written by a cis male, so definitely not on Voices, so be mindful of that. And I think that some of the views that I read, reviews from trans people, like they found it not a good representation, and there were some that did find it a good representation. So I guess it's all up to your own interpretation. But I did read it, I did enjoy it. I ended up giving it 4 stars. So that's that. And it's Sunday. I don't know what I'm going to close this vlog off. I'll probably read a couple more books before I bring it to a close. So it's the 4th and I've read 4 books. So that's exciting that I'm kind of starting off the month with this great momentum. And like I said, I'm reading things that I normally would not read, which I think is fantastic. So I'm having a great time and I'm going to hopefully continue to have a great time. All right. I'll check in later when I read stuff. Okay. So it is Monday, the 5th, I think, the 5th. And I have read another thing. It's really hard to do a vlogging a book a day. I've read another thing, and that's going to be The Arrangement by Kirsten Modglin. And I've never read a book by her, but I've heard a lot of things about this book and I've been wanting to read it, and it's really short, and so I read it. And let me tell you, this follows basically a married couple who comes up with this arrangement of, to fix their marriage, they're going to go out and they're basically going to date other people, but only sexually. And then this is really short, so I can't give a lot of things away, but there's twists and there's turns, and I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars, but it was wholly entertainment. I read it in one sitting, and I highly recommend for somebody that likes like domestic thrillers, but it's not really a domestic thriller. I highly recommend it to somebody that kind of just likes books and thrilling books that have twists and turns. This is a trilogy, which is interesting, and so I may read books 2 and 3. I may just leave it at this. I'm not sure, but we'll kind of see where I go. And then I actually I had some things to do, so I wanted to reread a book that I was very familiar with, and I was kind of having romancy vibes, and so I reread Lingus by Mariana Zapata, which is like her first novel, and it's not very polished. It's not her best. I gave it 3 stars. Again, I gave it 3 stars the first time I read it, and I gave it 3 stars now. But I need something mindless to listen to, and something that I had already listened to previously. But I did enjoy it. It basically follows our main character, who is a porn fan, and she goes to a porn convention, and she meets this guy, and he turns out to be a porn star, and just kind of the dynamic between loving a porn star and how that kind of goes together. Anyway, it is a cute little romance, but the dialogue is kind of cringe, and I wouldn't recommend it as a place to start with Mariana Zapata. I love Mariana Zapata. I haven't read all of her books yet, interestingly, but I have loved what I've read by her. But I wouldn't start with Lingus. Anyway, that's it. I don't know what I'm going to read next. Oh, I have started a Sky Beyond the Storm as well, and I don't know how many pages I'm into it because I'm listening to it on audio, and this will complete the series for me, and I'm kind of excited. I am loving what I'm reading so far, and I can't wait to see how this concludes. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this vlog up for y'all. It is September the 7th. It's Wednesday. We've been going at this for a week, and I've read 2 more things. So, the first one that I finished was The Darkness Outside Us, and that's by Elliot Schreifer. And going into this book, I had this expectation that this was just going to be a male romance, and boy was I wrong. And I did not read the back of the cover, because that's my MO. I don't read things before I go into them. And this follows our main character. I think he's 17 or 18. He may be, I can't recall, but basically his sister has gone missing. Something has gone terribly wrong. She went on a mission to one of Saturn's moon, Titan, I think, to see if it was inhabitable. But something has gone wrong with her mission. She could be dead. We're not sure. So he kind of competes in this kind of class-like structure, and he gets picked as the top to go on a solo mission to rescue his sister. Now, all of this is not spoilery, like it happens right there at the beginning. We're just told he competed in these battles to make it to the top, and we are just told that he was picked. So he goes on the solo mission, except when he wakes up from like cryostasis, I guess some kind of cryostasis, he wakes up and he does not remember getting on the ship, and he does not remember it taking off. And he does not remember anything past when he went to go get his medical evaluation to get on the ship. And then he comes to find out that he's not the only one on the ship, that there's someone else there with him, and it was supposed to be a solo mission. So it's all these mysteries kind of surrounding it. There is a romance, of course, which was very cute, but I was hooked. I was hooked on this mystery of what happened. How is he not on the solo mission? What is happening? Why does he not remember? And that was really what hooked me in the story. The romance was a side plot, and the mysterious things going on was the main plot. And I had all the feels of a 5-star read until I figured out how it ended, and then it kind of knocked it down for me. So I am going to give this one 4 stars, but I highly recommend this book for kind of a sci-fi romance type deal, mystery type deal. I really loved it and really enjoyed it. One of my favorite reads of the month. The next book I finally read was The Book of Cold Cases by Simone St. James. Who am I? Reading books off my Bookopoly TBR. So this is Dual Timelines. There was a crime that was committed in 1977 and called The Lady Killer, where some men were shot point blank in the head, dead. And it was very, interesting back then to have a woman commit the crime. But this woman was accused of the crime. She was ultimately acquitted of the crime, and basically then she went kind of hiding herself away, never granting interviews, never really being seen out in public. In present day, many years in the future, our main protagonist, who runs a true crime blog, runs into her at a doctor's office. And of course, she asks to interview the lady, and she says yes. So she goes to her creepy mansion, and some things happen, and the woman tells her her story, and there's some mystery of who actually did these crimes. And I'm gonna say that I didn't enjoy this one as much as Sundown Motel. I gave it 3 stars. It was fine, but I don't know if Simone St. James is really an author for me. I think I will give her one more shot. I haven't read, which is the one she did, The Broken Girls. I may read that one and see if I fare with that better. I don't know. But I gave it 3 stars, and it was fine. So that's going to wrap up a whole week of reading, and I'm gonna go and continue to read. I will vlog again later. I am going on a trip next week, so I'm not sure when the next vlog will come out, but I wish you guys all kind of well. I hope your reading month is going well. I hope your Bookopoly TBRs are going well. As you see, mine is not going the best. But I have read 1.5 books off, because I am also 50% into Sky Beyond the Storm by Sabathir. So, alright, I'll catch you guys later.